All right, welcome to the content Blerds. I'm your host, Ace, joined by my co-host Kaiser and Delta Kilo. We want to say welcome back to the channel. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. As you know, the content Blerds. This is a channel where we talk about all kind of geek culture kind of stuff, whether it's Star Wars, Dragon Ball, Marvel, DC, all of that. So if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe. Also, if you haven't checked out some of our older videos, please be sure to check those out. Leave some comments on there. We would love to hear what you guys think about it. Today, we're here for the trailer review. So before, me and Delta kind of did one on DC Fandom a while back, so please be sure to check that out. This is going to be something similar to that, where we're going to have myself, Kaiser, and Delta. We're going to watch the trailer and kind of try to react in live, I guess, action, and then we're going to kind of give our thoughts on it afterwards. So we're going to get this pulled up for you guys. Thank you again for subscribing to the channel if you have, and we appreciate your support. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Before we get into it, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. For sure.
And comment.
Like, comment, share this with your friends. Do all of that. We appreciate it.
Right, guys, ready?
Let's get it.
All right.
So, who would like to start? Mr. Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan?
Great.
Yes, sir.
Superheroes
What city is
cannot
that?
be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
Is that who? I think that's who I thought it was. Zemo.
The world's upside down right now. We start.
We came here to see Jet. What you got? No, not on my
Buck, I have a plan.
Yeah, all right.
What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been grinding hard on the job. Can't take that from us. Are you ready? Is you ready?
Hey.
Ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready?
That little girl kicked your ass.
Oh.
Gotta get that shut up before that bullet hit me.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready?
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Ready? Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
Disney Plus.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Do we want to go back through and like slow it down or anything, or nah? Y'all good on that? You just want to discuss it?
We can run it back, just regular speed. You want to run it back? Let's run it
let's
back.
do it.
Let's run it back.
Let's do it.
So, who would like to start? Mr. Barnes, why does Sam
It looked good,
aggravate
though.
you?
I can tell you that.
Bucky got his old hair back.
So what's our plan?
Right.
The hair.
Great.
It don't seem like he became the Black Captain America either.
Heroes
Nah, he's still the
cannot be
Falcon.
allowed to exist.
That's Baron Zemo though.
I have no intention to leave my work
He the
Hold on,
new
press
Red
pause.
Skull.
Press pause real quick.
He the
What were
new
you
Red
saying,
Skull.
Kaiser?
I said, and he had iconic mask too.
The iconic mask joint, yeah. Because in the movie, he never had the mask.
Nope.
But then the comic book,
Go ahead.
I was
Go
saying the comic books is like it's stuck to his face, don't never come off.
Okay.
The world's upside down right now. Where do we start?
Whole squad ready. We came here to see Jet. What you got? No, not on my
Buck, I have a plan. Oh yeah? What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go
I don't know who that is.
That's old girl from Winter Soldier.
Is you ready?
She was the one that was like fake taking care of Captain America when they found him in the ice.
Okay, got you.
I think she was CIA.
Hello, girl, kick your ass.
Or no, Shield.
That was the one they was trying to get him to like go on a date with.
Yeah, that's what Charles' niece.
Peggy.
Yeah, that's Sharon Carter. That's Sharon Carter.
Oh yeah, that is Peggy's niece.
Carter.
That's right.
All
That's right. That's right.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready?
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Ready? Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
All right, bet.
Plus,
Okay,
yes,
let's talk about it. Kaiser, what were your thoughts on just the trailer itself in general?
Oh, it's fine. I love it. Like the CGI in the backgrounds and everything, seeing Baron Zemo and Sharon Carter and all that good stuff. It seems like it's going to be a really good show. Like really, I'm really excited for it.
Nah, facts. Delta, what are your thoughts on what you kind of saw from just that trailer itself?
is that it's still that tension between Winter Soldier and Falcon. They on the same side, but they still had that tension going on. You know what I mean? Like, they almost like they still fighting to be who's Captain America's best friend. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's definitely look like it's gonna be some good chemistry there. I'm curious to see how this goes. And like I said when we did our last video, I could see Deadpool popping up in this one.
Nah, that's real. I think like just from what I took from it itself is we're trying to lay the groundwork for this story. One thing, obviously, we saw Baron Zemo. That was dope to see them going back to kind of what he kind of looks like in the comics in terms of that, because I think when he first showed up in Civil War, unless you were familiar with the comic books, you really didn't know who he was. So for him to have that, obviously, they never really kind of closed his story arc in terms of where he went from there. So I think that that's going to be dope. I don't know if he's going to be the primary villain or not, but I think it's dope how they kind of weave this whole story together. It looks very exciting. It looks action-packed. The thing that stuck out to me is he was looking at the Cap mural. Like, I'm wondering if that signifies that Cap has passed away. Is it just that Cap left them the mantle? It really kind of reminded me of when in Spider-Man, the movie with Mysterio, Far From Home, when he looked up and saw like Iron Man, that painting of Iron Man looking at him, but Iron Man was dead. So is Cap going to die or is Cap still alive somehow?
Cap's probably still alive. He just, then passed the mantle. Like he got, when we saw at the end of Endgame, he was old and whatnot. So like he probably just retired into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be dead, but he probably still alive. Like they probably gonna have a point where they go talk to him and be like, "Look, listen, we don't know what to do." Like they gonna have that moment where they don't know what to do.
Aren't they like so? Obviously, that will require them bringing Chris Evans back into the role. I think I did see a report where it said that he signed on for a Marvel-related kind of thing. Is it going to be Winter Soldier? You think that it's the Winter Soldier itself, or what do you guys think?
It would have to be Winter Soldier.
What about you, Kaiser?
They'll probably make like returns and like flashbacks, or maybe like some kind of like time loop, especially what you said with a Strange movie right around the corner.
Do y'all think that this is going to be like related to any other, like, is this going to cross over with any other movie, or what would, I guess, the events of this? Obviously, we talk about WandaVision. That's been rumored to be connected to the Doctor Strange movie. What would this, I guess, essentially be connected to? Do y'all see any kind of connective tissue for this related to any of the movies that are coming out in the MCU?
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely can see like something happening in this show bleeding into like the next new movies of phase, 5. So I can definitely see that happening, especially introducing the new Captain America character. I don't know if he's going to go by the name U.S. Patriot or Super Patriot, or I don't know if he's going to be Captain America 2. But it's definitely going to like bleed into the next few movies. I can see them referencing these two series and those movies.
So from your perspective, obviously you're like the guru when it comes to the backstory. You told me about, we've had conversations off the air where you've told me about Sam being the Black Captain America. Do you think that that's where, like, what are they going to be pulling this story arc from when it comes to the source material?
So for this story, I'm not too sure. It's taking bits and pieces of the death of the Captain America storyline. But if they are doing it that way, Sam isn't going to be Black Panther. It's going to be Winter Soldier. It's going to be what you call it, because he takes over the mantle directly after Steve's killed, and then later on down the line, Sam becomes Cap after a long time. So I think more realistically, it's going to be Winter Soldier who's going to become Cap first, then Sam somewhere down the line. I mean, but they might make it. They might spin it though and make it where Sam becomes Cap instead. But who knows?
Well, him catching the shield at the end was kind of, like, yeah, like, wait, well, I guess it's my turn first, and then it'll be, Falcon's turn. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, I'm with you. That's what they kind of seem to kind of play with in the trailer, is who's really taking the mantle. Who they both were shown like holding the shield in one form or fashion. It really reminded me of the Star Wars trailer for the one where they revamped everything, and it was like the Force Awakens, right? And they were playing Jedi mind tricks on us on who was supposed to be the Jedi. We all thought from the trailer that it was Finn, but like they showed different ways on maybe it's this person, maybe it's that person. And so I think that that's what they were doing there. It's going to be interesting though, because I think I wonder if Sam wants to take up that mantle immediately. Is he going to be hesitant with it? And Bucky's like, nah, I got this. Or is Bucky going to be like, nah, it's mine? That's going to be like a dope struggle to kind of see. And I think Delsa, you nailed something on the head too. They're also fighting over who is his real best friend. Me personally, I would say Bucky. I would just say Bucky and maybe I have bias because I'm rewatching the MCU. Right. So it hasn't gotten to the point where we get into the Winter Soldier and Sam is introduced, because I feel like that's where that started to kind of come through. But that's a good question. Like, who would be his best friend between the two of them? Like, that's a tough one.
I mean, you can have two best friends. I mean, you can have one best friend. But I think the funny thing about them is that they hate each other, but they love each other just as much, because no matter how much they like argue and bicker, they bicker like an old married couple. Like, they're slowly becoming best friends themselves, right. And you can see the pieces of it from Civil War. Like, that's why I think it's such an interesting dynamic between the two, because in the comics they don't even interact that much like that, like at all. Like, maybe in passing, but I like this relationship that they are developing in the movie, because honestly, when they first introduced Sam as the new Captain America, it kind of like caught me off guard, because like I said, Cap is an Avenger and Falcon is too, but they're not as close as, let's say, like Tony and Cap was, or as Bucky and Cap was in comic books. So it's a very interesting thing to me. So, but it's cool. I love it.
Nah, I think it's dope too. I think you hit on something too. Like, with them not really kind of creating this relationship themselves, that kind of gives them creative control over, what happens. This is essentially kind of a new or alternative kind of timeline. All right, in this one, they teamed up. They were cool. And it's going to be fun to watch them play with who should be the real Cap. Delta, were there any other takeaways that you had from this? Look, Kaji, you had something else to say?
I retract my statement. No, I was mistaken. They weren't really close in the books. Comic books too. I'm tripping. My bad, guys. Don't crucify me.
Nah, you good. So you said they were close in the comic books.
Yeah, they were. I remember.
It's like I said, it's like two people fighting on who's really the best friend of Captain America, and like they basically like that's the dynamic between those two. Like, yo, I'm his friend from back in the day, but I'm his new friend, and we done been through a lot together too. You left and I'm still here, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. but it's a good dynamic, especially between those two characters, because they're polar opposite. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a good dynamic for them to have, to be that, you know, that push and pull type of yin and yang thing. Especially, is this gonna be a movie or a series? Like, it's a movie, right?
No, it's a series.
It's a series.
Yeah, so they have to have that dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird because I think it's shot like a full-length movie, but they just split it up in certain parts. I'm just really wondering like how this incorporates into the new phase. Like I get how the Wanda one ties in. I don't get like how this ties in with like Guardians, Doctor Strange, maybe like you said, maybe Deadpool. This is how they have that. If they had any kind of, we talk about the Luke Skywalker moment that happened in WandaVision. Do y'all see something like that happening in this one? And if so, who would that like character be that hasn't been introduced yet that could be like in this one?
A character we haven't seen in the MCU at all?
Yes.
That'd be kind of hard to kind of.
I think y'all said it on the last one, so I'm assuming I'm gonna just take y'all answer from the last one is maybe Deadpool. So maybe Deadpool shows up in this one.
I can see that we're dealing with, because I feel like they're gonna be dealing a lot with Shield, so I can definitely see Deadpool being like a big character they bring in for this series.
Do you think Nick Fury's involved in any way? Because he's supposed to get his own series too. Will he cross over with them? Like maybe is he leading them? Like it seems like that lady is leading them, which I don't know who she is.
No, I think she's just a therapist.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that was in
the
church.
When you're dealing with government institutions, especially in the MCU, they try to psychoanalyze you, psychoanalyze you. You know what I mean? That seems like that's what's going on between them two.
Gotcha. So we're gonna say Deadpool probably shows up. I doubt that the Fantastic Four are in this because it's not any kind of cosmic, intergalactic kind of thing there. I think I've read and people are saying, and I think we've talked about this a little bit. We talked about them trying to use the super soldier serum on the wrong person, right? Like I remember watching the Captain America First Avenger. Obviously, from the first one, they talked about how Red Skull was technically the first person to take it, right? And it magnified the inner person, which is what made it so dangerous the first time, right? Then they used it on Cap because they felt like he had good character and stuff like that. Then apparently they lost it because they killed that professor. And then apparently from watching the Avengers, they stated in there that they tried to replicate his super soldier serum again with Bruce Banner, and it didn't work. Somehow I've read around and they talked about like the evil Cap. Like, how are they gonna say that now they've been able to get the serum again to work perfectly, but they've chosen the wrong person? Like, how can they essentially do that?
I mean, like honestly, the super soldier formula in itself, it gave like slight enhancements. So I mean, like, you know what I mean? We have people like Daredevil who can go, who doesn't have as much experience as far as like combat experience as Cap, but he can pretty much stand toe and toe with Cap because the super soldier form only really enhanced him so much. It didn't get him like super strength, just gave him enhanced strength. Right. So I'm pretty sure that you can still get those. They can still work around that term element with other things, like probably like a suit that probably enhances abilities or whatever, or just go the Batman route. He just trained really. They just gave him rigorous training. But I'm not entirely too sure. I don't remember off the top of my head how the new dude is, how powerful he is in comparison to Cap. I don't know if he was just like, I think he did get another version of the formula, but
it's not as good as the original.
Yeah. Plus, I think he was like psychologically disturbed. So
is it possible that Baron Zemo is going? Has that ever happened where he got like the super soldier serum himself?
No, he just
All right, cool. So we got a comment from my guy Trey Williams. Off topic, I still don't think we've had the Luke Skywalker cameo come in WandaVision. I think we agree with that. We said that on the last episode. I think like we don't think that it was just Pietro was was the Luke Skywalker cameo. But
No.
Trey, let us know in the comments who you think it was or who you think it could be that's coming for sure to WandaVision. But yeah, I think I'm excited for what we've got. I was hoping that we got more. I obviously want to see what they're going to do with like She-Hulk and some of the other series. But it looks like this is next on tap. So, Delta, are you excited for this one? Is this one that you're going to be more interested in than WandaVision? Is it the same level, or what are you thinking in terms of that?
Because WandaVision for me is on Cassian Andor level. So, like, I'm not too interested in it. I might like say like when they tie it all in, like because they're gonna tie it all in. When they tie it all in, I might go back and be like, oh, that's where that came from. You know what I mean? But WandaVision, I'm not too excited, but this I am excited to see.
Okay, cool. Well,
because they're essentially taking two characters to replace one character, and let's see. I want to see how that goes.
Can they make it interesting with them losing someone on the level of a Captain America? Is it gonna like? To me, I feel like, and not to be biased or anything, I love Anthony Mackie as an actor, but I think when I compare me, and this is just me personally, the Winter Soldier story versus him, he seems more of like the Winter Soldier to me seems more exciting and more dope. Now they are taking him back to Bucky, so I don't know if he's gonna be as dope, but what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that is something where could Falcon have his own series alone, or vice versa with both of them, or do they need both of them to like get that this is not Cap but close to the level of Cap to where people are gonna be interested in and invested in the storyline?
You need both.
Yeah, you need both. I think
need both.
I don't think neither one's strong enough to center their own for like solo series. Because I mean,
at least not right now. Like maybe when one of them becomes Captain America, yeah. But as of right now, they need those. They need that chemistry that those two on screen
together
to make the series not only compelling but make it so you come back and keep watching. You know what I mean?
No, that's facts. So they couldn't do a Loki type series because Loki, I feel like he can stand. I
don't think he can stand alone on his own though.
See, that's really crazy.
I think Loki can. I think Loki can. Hold on, but I want to get into one thing that Trey just said. He said for some reason I think it's going to be Magneto, and I think that's what we all kind of thought. I think we said Magneto, Professor X. I threw in a curveball, I think, with like Deadpool or Wolverine. But if I were, like I said on that show, if I were a betting man, my money's on Magneto.
But
let's get back into this Loki thing. So you saying you don't feel like Loki could stand on his own?
I think what gives Loki his allure is Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When it comes to like Loki, he's a cool character and whatnot, and he's a cool character in the comic books, cool character in other types of content media. But if we're talking about the Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't think he can stand alone because at least he's going to have a few cameos from Thor. I'm just saying.
Kaiser, you say you don't agree with that. Or after hearing what Delta said, do you still feel the same, or you kind of agree, or could see some way?
I feel the same. I feel like Loki's whole show should be more of a redemption arc for him, and I feel like with Loki's story, we get to see more of the Asgardian side of things because they only touch small bits and pieces of it in the Thor movies because they were primarily on Earth. I feel like that in itself would be interesting. Him exploring his past, his redemption, who he wants to be, where he wants to go, with everything going on. And he also has an interesting cast of characters that's around him. Because that's when you get introduced to more than Enchantress. You get introduced to his financial relationship to, I guess they say Hill because they kind of switched that around. But I feel like Loki will have a good. I feel like it'll be a strong show. It'll probably take some time to build up. But I feel like once it gets going, it's going to be a good show.
Nah, I'm with you. I think you hit on something that I saw when I just rewatched the Thor movie. They left a lot of meat on the bone outside of the story of Thor. And I'm going to take it even a step further and say past Loki, there's also the story that needs to be told about Odin and the Frost Giants and all of those wars that they had to even get to that current state where he went and, you know, adopted Loki and brought him in. Like, there's still a ton left on there. And I think they went into a little bit of it with Hela and, you know, the last movie, but we still never got that. I always felt like if they could go back and do a series on Odin, that would be dope, because it could almost kind of come off kind of Game of Thrones-ish, and that's just something that they never really explored that's so different than what we typically get from Marvel. Like, when I first saw Thor, that's what stuck out to me the most. This is different than anything we've ever seen as far as Captain America, Hulk, you know, Iron Man. Like, we never saw that mythical kind of stage until that was introduced. Obviously, later we got Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that, but that was a big departure from what we were used to seeing in terms of what we got from Marvel. So I do agree with you. I think that there's a lot that they could actually cover in series that they could make from that standpoint. I also think that's interesting what you said about Loki, because I went through some of the deleted scenes, and I honestly wonder why some of that was left on the board, because it kind of makes sense. The scene that I saw in particular that I'm kind of referring to is before Thor goes out for his celebration that was trashed by Loki. At the beginning, there's a scene that shows them sitting together and having a real conversation, and Loki saying, "I love you, bro. Like, even though we go through whatever it is, I still love you and you're still my brother." And I thought that it was interesting that they took it out, because you never really get that until Infinity War, and he's like Odin's son, but he doesn't say "I love you, you're my brother," but he kind of shows it. So I think that is dope that we will get to see what Loki's mindset is from this one, because we got to remember, this is the one where they went back into the past and he escaped. So this is the one that escaped at that point and went to wherever he's going to go. And I think from what I've heard, from what I've read, they're saying that he's going to go off into something where some kind of entity or governing force is kind of testing him too. So I do think that he could stand on his own just because of his background, him being like the main villain in the Avengers. I think that's what kind of gives him the ability to possibly stand on his own. I would love to see them paint how Thor is depicted from his standpoint, because when you watch that first movie, you like, Thor isn't so great. Like, at the beginning of the movie, you're like, Thor is kind of wild, and like Thor would have went to war with the Frost Giants. He didn't even care about, like, when you watch that first one, when they go and fight the Ice Giants or the Frost Giants, his homeboy gets like stabbed and like he almost dies, and like Thor isn't even paying attention because he just wants to like fight them. And so like I could kind of sympathize. So I wonder if they're going to show stuff from like when they were growing up. Did he even get a fair shot of even being considered as the king or the ruler? It didn't seem like he was. Like, and for him to find out that he was a frost giant and that he was taken away from his dad and stuff like that, I think that is an interesting dynamic for them to look at it from. Like, it's almost like when you look at Cobra Kai, right? It's from the stance or the view of Johnny Lawrence versus the dude that we already know with Danny. Like, we thinking that Johnny is the bad guy, but when you look at things from different perspectives, I think that's what makes it interesting, and that's what could make it interesting for Loki, I think, as well.
Right.
And the aspect of exploring like the other 9 realms, because let's be honest, like in the Thor movies, you only really explored Midgard, Earth, and Asgard. Not, you know, there's other like 9 other places like Niflheim, behind all the other places,
all that, like whatnot. Like,
is Valkyrie getting her own series? I feel like she might, you know, just because she's a notable actress, I think she could potentially get her own series.
What didn't they announce the Lady Thor thing? What was the
Love and Thunder? Yeah, Jane Foster is supposed to come back and be. Well, we assume she's gonna get the power.
I heard Tessa Thompson is supposed to be a main part of that movie too, though, or miniseries or whatnot.
I don't think she's gonna get a show. What would the show be about? Like, because she's on Earth, and it's already so much stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying there's never anything going on, but I think her. I mean, I don't want to show about the rebuild else about on Earth and Wyoming. That don't really sound all that fun.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I think it would be tough too, because Tessa Thompson, she's like it's hard to get her, like with her doing so many notable, like just outside of Marvel, so many notable films. I'm not sure she would sign up for like a TV show. Like maybe, but I feel like nah, like she could be in some really good movies that are coming out. So for her to put that down and say, okay, I'm gonna step back down to TV, I don't know if that would happen. And I think, like you're saying, how many people are really signing up to watch her, you know, do what Thor told her to do in Wyoming? That may not be as interesting, but yeah, I think like you said, they do have some bits and pieces that they can explore. And then I think Delta is also valid in, okay, if Thor isn't there, how can those characters kind of survive with that? The only thing that I could see is maybe if you do like a Tessa Thompson or any of those characters with like some of the guys that were on the side. And I'm thinking of the big blue guy. He's who comes to mind as like somebody that could be in another show that people enjoy, that would, you know, be able to at least draw some interest, but it may not be that much. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Was there anything y'all wanted to say before we get out of here?
No, sir.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the trailer breakdown. Please let us know what you think in the comments. We're going to be coming to you guys with all kind of content. So yeah, be sure to check us out, subscribe, and hit that like button.